This is Monument Circle, the center point of Indianapolis, Indiana, which is dominated by the Soldiers and Sailors monuments. The monument is one of the tallest war memorials in the United States, but that is not the focus of this video, as there is a historic and exclusive hotel clubhouse on the circle known as the Columbia Club, and I have special access to go inside. The Columbia Club got its start during the presidential election of 1888, as well-off Republicans in town founded the Harrison Marching Society to help get a prominent citizen of Indianapolis elected as president, one Benjamin Harrison. Of course, the Harrison campaign did win, and the succeeding Columbia Club was organized in February of the next year, just before Harrison was sworn in as president. This fine structure on Monument Circle is the third location of the club, which was completed in 1925. The limestone facade was designed to complement the limestone monument across the streets. So let's head inside. The lobby of the Columbia Club is beautiful and classy. The fusion of Gothic Revival and Tudor elements is masterfully done in this lobby. Many distinguished Hoosiers have been members of this club over the years, and many important dignitaries from out of town have been hosted here. Despite this being a historically Republican club, presidential candidate Franklin Roosevelt visited in 1932 after giving a speech on the circle. General Dwight Eisenhower and both George Bushes visited the Columbia Club as well. In 1926, Queen Marie of Romania was welcomed to Indianapolis with a banquet here, and in 1927 a banquet was held here for Charles Lindbergh. There are some cool historic treasures inside the club. Here's an incredible piece of history: the Lincoln Eagle. During Abraham Lincoln's funeral tour in 1865, the cortege did stop in Indianapolis, where a lion stayed under the old Capitol Rotunda. This was one of the two eagles carried in the Indianapolis funeral procession from Union Station to the Capitol, and this eagle was hung above Lincoln's casket under the rotunda. This is the highly decorated Marat Trophy, which was awarded to the club in 1933 after an athletics series with the Indianapolis Athletic Club, the historically Democratic club in town. There are a couple of Frederick Remington bronzes here in the lobby, like the iconic Buck and Bronco. Here's a painting by T.C. Steele, one of the most famous artists from Indiana. He was a member of the Columbia Club, and reportedly would often pay his membership dues with paintings, hence there are quite a few hanging around the club. A portrait of President Benjamin Harrison still looms over the club. In many portraits of Harrison, his face and beard are positioned to be shaped like the state of Indiana, which may have been the case in this Steele portrait. Below the portrait is Benjamin Harrison's marble table, which he used in the White House during his term from 1889 to 1893. There's a portrait of Indiana's forceful and effective Civil War governor Oliver P. Morton. The massive fireplace is fantastic with the little sculptures carved into it. The Hoosier poet, James Whitcomb Riley, was a prominent member of the Columbia Club, but he was never in this building. Another famous member of the Columbia Club was Hoagy Carmichael, one of the most popular songwriters of the 1920s, and he would use this very piano. In fact, he played his legendary compositions like Stardust on this piano almost nightly when he stayed here during the winter of 1928 to 29. There's a painting of the neighboring Christ Church with the long-gone English Opera House adjacent to it. On the second floor loft areas, there are some seemingly random collections of fine china. There's also a cabinet full of steins which may be removed soon. There are 3 pieces of Lincoln china, the authentic china set pieces used in the Lincoln White House. They were collected by First Lady Caroline Harrison. There's this beautiful porcelain model of Cinderella's arrival by Ladro, which is a Spanish art porcelain brand. There are a few portraits by T.C. Steele up here depicting the former presidents of the Indianapolis Literary Club. He would take on lots of portrait commissions, but definitely preferred creating impressionistic landscapes. The Columbia Club is now the headquarters of the Remnant Trust, a foundation which collects historic manuscripts related to the history of individual liberties and human dignity. Most of the thousands of pieces in their collection are stored at the Indiana Historical Society, but they currently have a small display at the Columbia Club which they graciously allowed me to visit. I also got to touch and interact with the books. They do plan on significantly expanding their display at the Columbia Club, so if you might be interested in checking that out, then you will be able to arrange that on the Columbia Club website. In the distant past, I had the opportunity to stay here and visit the upper floors. It's mostly hotel rooms up there. The rooms facing Monument Circle do have awesome views. There are some neat artifacts upstairs too, like this McKinley Republican Marching Club banner, as well as other late 19th century Republican Party memorabilia. They even have some original menus from the Lindbergh banquet here. This is Christ Church next door to the Columbia Club. It is the oldest surviving church in the city, having been built in 1857. There is currently renovation work going on at the Soldiers and Sailors monuments, so accessibility to the base is restricted, but still the various sculptures on and around the monument are as awesome as ever. A statue of Benjamin Harrison's grandfather, William Henry Harrison, stands opposite the Columbia Club. The ornamental bears on the lampposts are awesome, as well as these bison who used to spew out water. Anyways, that was the Columbia Club. A wonderful, if elusive, Indianapolis institution which I've wanted to revisit for a long time, so thanks to the Remnant Trust for the opportunity to get back inside. If you enjoyed this video, then check out my other content featuring historic locations and hotels across America, including all sorts of attractions in the Indianapolis area. Also, if you learned something, then please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks for watching!